Hi and welcome to another Photoshop tutorial. This is Steve, and in this video we're going to talk about how to use content-aware fill. And I've just pulled up this example here with these three bikes, and what we want to do is show you how to cut out this bike and then have content-aware fill in the spaces behind it automatically. And what we want it to do is look like this. I've got this other layer here, and that's about what we're going for. And content-aware fill is not perfect, but it does a pretty darn good job, and there are a few little tricks that you need to know to make it work better for you. Okay, so I'm going to toggle this back on, and we're going to do a selection on this guy, and then I'll show you how to fill that space in. So first I'm going to zoom in, and you can go Alt and scroll, or another way to do it is Control plus on your keyboard, and then the hand key using the space bar to get right in there. And then I'm just using the lasso tool. You can use your selection tool of choice, and I'm just going to draw along the outside of this guy, and I'm not doing it perfectly, but I do want to go, what I'm trying to do is preserve as much of the background so that it doesn't get replaced, because the original background is always going to be better than the stuff that Photoshop comes up with, even though sometimes it can be surprisingly good. So we just are drawing around. You could use the magic wand tool. Where this is a fairly complex subject, that's why I'm tracing it out. Oops, got a little haywire over there. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we've got our selection. Like I said, you can get more complex if you want, but that's fine. Okay, once you've got your selection, make sure you're selected on your background layer, because that's what it's going to use for its filling. And then we're going to go to Edit, and Content-Aware Fill is right here. Go ahead and click on that. Then it's going to bring up a whole new window here. And what you have here is here's your original, and here is the version of it after it's done the filling. You can see there where it's messed up, and I'm going to show you how to fix that in a minute. But you also have a scale here, so you can zoom in and see a little bit better what's going on. And then you'll notice this green background here. And let me see if I can scroll over so you can see what we're looking at. Okay, so it has this green overlay, and what this green area is this is telling you this is the area that content-aware fill is pulling from to try and figure out what should go in here. And so that's the reason that you're seeing the back of this bike here, which came off of this guy right here, and you're also seeing the tire here and a crank, and this is probably from right here, and this is probably the back tire, or maybe this tire here, because it's using the pixels around this area to figure out how to recreate this area for you. And so the beauty of this new green overlay is that before this was available, that was what you were stuck with, and then you just had to go into your photo after and like clone these out or do your own modifications to it. But now you can do some of that right in the tool, which is totally awesome. And so if you'll notice, I have, hopefully you can see this up here in the left corner, I have a little brush. And with that brush, I can deselect some of this green area that it's using to fill that in. And so we'll start with the most important example of this seat piece right here, right? It's pulling off of this, so we want to get rid of that. So I just click on that and go over it, And then you'll notice it recalibrates over here, and see how it popped that out, and instead, because that's not available, it pulled some grass or something from up here from the bush. So that's progress. Okay, then we're going to look at this tire. Basically, we don't want any bike parts in here. So it wouldn't hurt us to go down here and scroll over and just delete the entire bike out like this. Especially those parts that we didn't want it to pull from. And by the way, if you hit the Alt key, you can actually add things back into. But we don't want to. We're going to leave it on the subtract mode. And now you can see we're already getting some major progress right here. In fact, that might be pretty good. Let's go back a little bit. The one thing I'd like it to do ideally, let me scroll in and scooch over, is see how it's got the grass. It's like dirt along here and all along the back. But then it turns, this one's turning it into that grass. So what we can do is you can look at this, find it in your image, and if you scroll over, I'm thinking that that grass, is actually right here. So you can go in and just click and delete that and see it recalibrates and says, oh, he doesn't want us to use that grass right there. This, it's hard to say where it's pulling from. It might be like up here. This is definitely pulling from up here, so we could get rid of some of that. It's getting closer. I'm going to get rid of some more of that. Still wants to put that in there. There, that's getting pretty close. It's still showing, it's still putting some grass down here, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. And then one last thing. So we don't want these repeated down here. See how it's repeating those lines? So we're going to delete out that part. And that way it'll just fill it in with nice grass. So let's go ahead and click OK and see what we've got now. Alright, I'm going to scroll out just a tiny bit. And you can see what it does. There is our selected area where the bike used to be, and that's what it chose to fill in there. And then you'll notice over here it's created a new layer here, and if I toggle this off, you'll see the bike reappears. And I'm going to go ahead and click Control D to deselect it so you can actually really see what happened. And again, I'm not stoked about this grass down here. I'd rather have it just be this brown dirt along here. And you could actually go in and do it again and leave only this area as an option, but it's really not bad the way it is. And then I want to show you another version that I did, just so you can see what it looks like. So there's the original, and then here's the last version I did. So you can see it kind of just has a little shrub and some of the stones. And one of the things you have to kind of look for is, like, see this little guy? This came from this right here. And it turned out a little bit different because it's combining it with some other things, and so it looks different. But if you were to get this chunk here representing exactly over here, then you would want to go ahead and delete it. But that's how you use the Content Aware Fill tool to replace an area of your image with the things that are around it, and then you can use the green screen to modify it and take out things that you don't want showing up in the fill. Thanks for watching. I hope that helps you, and I hope you can use that in your photoshopping. If you like the video, please click like, hit the subscribe button, and check out my course in the description below if you want to really take your Photoshop game to the next level and keep learning with me. Thanks so much and have an awesome day.